start the
Too late.
stream.
What's up, everybody? We're back,
Hi.
and
What time is
it's Chris.
Stick
Yes,
10:25 p.m. on the East Coast.
time for me to. Since I touched my mouse, time for me
I know
to.
that it's after dark.
That's right.
That's what I know.
Sorry, what did you say?
I touched my mouse, and so now I had to like.
Which is
I had to.
Is it okay
Different
to
than touching your monkey.
stream that on YouTube, or will it get age
Right.
gated?
So I had to. I had to rebind, or not rebind, but like change the controls to be like, no, I'm actually using a controller. So this is Hyperlight Drifter. Alex.
Hell yeah.
Alex kind of gave this to me and kind of just made me play it.
I mostly just made you play it. I didn't give it to
Because
you.
I had it from like a humble bundle or
how you got
something.
here.
But I hadn't actually put any time into it. And I don't really know why, because I'd heard it was good. And yeah, you did.
Yeah, dude,
At
this
length.
game. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm in the same boat as you. I haven't spent any time with it.
Well, you should. It's really
It's
good.
all right. This is the last 3 years have been so crazy stuffed with so many amazing video games.
Yeah.
Like saying I haven't had time to play this one amazing video game with all these other amazing video
Yep.
games is not,
Right.
and it's not an unrealistic or
Exactly.
particularly weird thing to say, right? So
yeah.
so
Although it seems like this game would be totally your jam.
well, it is, as it turns out. So
Yeah.
All right.
It's game
yeah,
over.
that's it. It's totally my jam.
All right, it's good. Thanks.
So
Totally my jam. Bye.
am I gonna get to a point? Okay, so am I either? I have the chain dash thing, but that doesn't seem to work if you're like
Yeah.
not on solid ground, right? So there are places where
You just have to have good timing, I think, to use it.
Yeah, it's just particular timing.
so you can use it to get over longer gaps. Is what you're saying.
Oh no, you can't. No,
Oh,
no,
no,
no, no.
So there are longer gaps. So I assume eventually I'll get something, or is it just like there's another way to get to those places generally?
There are a lot of hidden paths in this game. A lot of like sideways to
Yeah,
go around and find a way
I
over
have
somewhere.
noticed that for sure.
And there are ways sometimes to make like bridges appear
Right.
and things. It's been a
Yeah.
long time since I played this though.
Same. Yeah, it's been a
Was
minute.
this 2016?
Yeah, 2016.
Is that the year this came out?
Yeah.
So this game, I feel like the easiest way to just like say what it is to describe it like Zelda, but it's not really. Aside from the overhead view and the sword, it's actually not really that much like Zelda.
Right. I mean,
Well, it's like a
an
combat focused
overhead
Zelda.
action adventure game.
Right? Yeah, it's
It's like
much
Crystallis.
more combat heavy than Zelda. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's closer to Crystallis or like even like Golvelius,
Right.
or something like
Or
that.
Secret of Mana.
Secret of Mana is what I was.
The RPG stuff. We removed the RPG stuff and the cooldowns on your attacks.
Which is my least favorite part of Secret of Mana, so
Works for
yeah.
you.
There you go.
I don't know what game would be the most similar in terms of like hiding stuff like this in the environment. You're always kind of looking for like a crack in the trees that might signify like a secret room that you can get to or something.
Yeah, right.
Like it kind of reminds me of the Lost Woods in Link to the Past a little bit. Just maybe not the best comparison, but I don't know. It's how I felt when I was searching through this game for secrets. But the rest of the time you're fighting stuff, and that doesn't feel very Zelda-y.
No, the combat really doesn't feel Zelda-y at all.
No, not at all.
I really like the combat in this game. If you go back and listen to our end of the year stuff from back then, Eric, I remember you didn't like the way the encounters were set up usually, or often.
I felt like often it was just like, here's a kill box with like 20 dudes in it. There wasn't too much elegance a lot of the time in the way that the enemy encounters were made. But I mean, this was still like my third or fourth favorite game of 2016. So it's not a huge criticism, but that was the one thing that I didn't love about it.
I think it's a fair criticism, but I enjoyed the combat enough that it didn't really
Yeah.
grate on me too much.
It's good. Dashing around and making yourself almost invincible against all those enemies is super fun.
Yeah, and I really like the way the guns work into it too.
Yeah, so I only have 2 guns so far. So we're supposed to play for 4 hours. I'm going to reach like probably hour 4 while we're doing this stream. because I didn't know until yesterday that this is actually the game we were playing tonight. So I had not.
So for the record, on our collective 2016 Game of the Year rankings, this was 4th behind Overwatch, Doom 2016, and
Witcher? No, that was too.
No, The Witcher was the year before. It's where is it here? The Witness. So it's a pretty good
Witness.
showing. Yeah.
Well, 3 of those games are good.
I mean, yeah, all 3 of our top 3 are very good games.
I don't know what the Witness. I don't remember who all put the Witness on their list. I know Eric did, but
Kurt had
Not
it
me.
second, and I had it one spot ahead of this at 3rd.
Yeah, I miscounted. The joke there is that, like, fuck that.
I definitely had this pretty high up on my list. I like this
But
game a
whatever.
lot when it came out.
Mike had it second
picked
behind
up
Overwatch.
with
there's
Right now.
there's like a non-zero chance that I would have bumped this higher if I had played it the year it came out. But that's just the way it goes, I guess.
Yeah, these things happen.
Mistakes were made.
Ask me how I feel about Hollow Knight this year.
Yeah, that's
Right.
another.
Exactly.
Cuphead, Hollow Knight, like Cuphead, I played a little bit of enough to know that I loved it, but like not enough to rank it appropriately high for that year. Yeah, and Hollow Knight, I don't know. I'm not gonna put it on my list this year because like, even though the version I played came out this year, that doesn't feel right to me to put it on there.
I think you totally could if you wanted to.
Something about that feels wrong. Although,
Yeah, I mean, make your own rules, but I wouldn't be like, no, you can't put that on there.
yeah,
Well, a lot of people have been giving Hollow Knight a pass because it came out on Switch this
Right,
year,
exactly.
and so a lot
Yes.
of people don't play games like this on the PC, which I would kind of mind a little bit, except that it means that Hollow Knight's getting a lot of love, and that's super great.
right. I mean, I think I'm just gonna designate Hollow Knight as my 2018 game of 2017. Yeah, so Hyperlight Drifter. I like this game quite a bit, and some of the stuff that I didn't like when at the very beginning, I actually grew to like more. Like, you can go to all the upgrade shops, but like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, like there's just like
Yeah.
a shop with some abilities, and like there's dudes who are just
You
like.
mean it doesn't make sense to go to them, or
The shops don't
what
make
you can do at
sense.
The shops don't
It
make
doesn't-
sense.
Because
Okay,
there's
it's
no
not very clear
dialogue
what
in
you-
this game, right? So like it's just
Yeah.
like
You're just like, I don't understand what any of this
Talk to
does.
Right,
each other, yeah, you just
it's just
It's all
right. There's like
pictographs.
pictographs of like here's some stuff and here's a thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is all this? And then when you start collecting the knickknacks that you use to get upgrades, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's what all that means. And then when you go back, and then the nice thing is that they put fast travel points in some like pretty convenient places, so you can go. Like, I actually need to go get an upgrade. So I did the whole first section. So basically the map is broken up, near as I can tell, into like north, south, east, west quadrants. The map in like the old guy who saves you's hut at the beginning seems to indicate that you go north first. I don't know if that's intended or just how I read it, but that worked out for me. I went north and did all the stuff and didn't need any upgrades or anything. So I didn't get any upgrades because I didn't really, like, I hadn't fully, grokked how the game was played. Now I realize that, like, yes, you can go other places, use the fast travel to go back places and then come back to where you were, and it's probably good to like get upgrades midstream when you're in a convenient fast travel location. So I'm gonna do that once I get near a convenient fast travel location, which I'm not right now. So I'm not gonna like kill a bunch of progress by doing that. But yeah, I was just
So the thing with the upgrades in this game is that almost none of them are actually important. There's only one that really is, and that's the chain dash. And I think my only real complaint about this game is that they should probably force you to buy the chain dash first, or at least make it really obvious that that's what you should spend your money on. Because I can imagine someone not getting that and then having a real hard time. Like, I got to the boss of the west section first without the chain dash. That's not a fight where you want to be slow to move around. Like, that fight is completely brutal if you don't have a way to avoid attacks. So I would have appreciated that they focus a little bit. I mean, I was lucky in that I bought that first, but I managed to make it that far in the game without accumulating enough money.
that because I played this first of all of us.
oof.
And I think I was telling people at that time, make sure you buy the chain dash first. because,
Yeah, so that
like, that's the.
I
that's the
kind of
thing.
figured that just because it's the only traversal thing that you can get, right? Like, there's other dash tools, but there are attacks and stuff. Like, there's not. Like, and so I actually double checked though. Like, I just looked at an FAQ of like, what's the best like upgrade path, and it was like buy the chain dash first, and I was like, okay, that's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure I didn't waste my points. So the thing I saw was like buy the grenade and the chain dash as like your first two upgrades, and I just happened to have $5 when I got there, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm just gonna. And I'm actually headed back to a place where there's a fast travel point, so I am going to, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, but that's right. But I unlocked a thing that I can just like quickly dip through a spot. So I'm gonna go back to town and buy an upgrade.
So I booted this up.
Yeah. And you
I
remember
think
that the Disaster Piece soundtrack is fucking fantastic.
Yeah,
well,
it's super
yeah, I was
good.
going to say that, but the first thing I was going to say is that the fact that we've talked about this for 10 minutes without mentioning that the art in this game is like some of the
Ungodly good.
art that's ever been in a video game is like, it is obviously like, it's the thing, the art is what sold this game on Kickstarter and got it made in the first place. And also just people's, I think, general excitement for more of this style of video game, which there just isn't a lot of, and even most of the ones that exist are actually pretty good, and but there just isn't a lot of them. But it's just the way it looks. Like, it was that.
What
picture of
other
the
games would you
robot.
say is like this? That
Well, like the Zeldas and Secret of
Okay.
Mana. and
Okay.
Crusader of Senti, which is one that I played last year after playing it on Genesis, that's a real good one of those.
So, does anybody have any recommendations on what upgrade I should buy now? I was thinking about the sword reflecting, the thing where you can knock bullets back. That seems like it could be useful.
Honestly, I don't remember what all the upgrades are.
I was gonna say, aside from the chain dash, I don't think it matters.
whatever your play style is, I would say probably.
So yeah, it's weird to me that you guys are like, oh, you should get the chain dash for it. I remember like, I don't think I did get it first, and I don't remember it being a real problem. I was just like, yeah, whatever.
For me,
Like-
it's the game is the chain dash.
I mean, I definitely remember once I got it, I was like, oh yeah, this is good. Like, but you know, like, it didn't feel insurmountable to me without it. But whatever.
I feel like it increases the speed of exploration like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And it lets you just get around faster, which is kind of nice.
It's also just like super fun.
It is super fun.
That is true.
The timing is like fairly demanding, I will say.
It's just got a rhythm
Yeah,
to it. You get used to
Oh,
it.
of course,
like,
of course.
Well, but the rhythm does change a little bit. Like you have to kind of build up a certain level of speed, and then once you're at full speed, it's kind of consistent.
Yeah.
There are some challenges in the game where you have to string together a pretty large number, and it took a lot of tries for me to get some of those.
It's also really good when you chain dash into a wall.
Yeah.
yeah.
That big like thump.
Uh-huh.
Is there anything in the chat? Anybody have anything to say about Hyperlight Drifter in the chat?
I didn't have it turned on. But I have other things. to
Okay,
say.
well,
I
say
would
them.
say that. So the artwork and the soundtrack sort of have like great synergy to create like a really amazing atmosphere, which is the thing that
Yeah, for
was
sure.
why it ended up so high on my list overall. It is still, I think that even if those things weren't as strong as they are, it would still have been a very good one of these. But it's those two things that really push it beyond. It's just like really melancholic and I mean, honestly, yeah,
It's really melancholic.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of all you need to say. It's just amazing how effective.
I really
it is.
like that you.
Sky
Oh, go ahead.
Sky Reynolds says interesting art design, looks like a cartoon. Character designs remind me of Out of This World, Another World for Super NES.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that Eric Chahi style to it for sure.
FO. Did the stream die or did my connection just? Oh no, it's fine. It's fine.
I don't
worry
think
about
so.
it.
So here's a question:
it's
are the
probably-
doodads, the upgrade doodads, are those? Some enemies drop them. Is it predetermined which enemies drop them, or can you get them randomly, or is it like totally predetermined.
I believe they come at like in certain combat encounters.
Okay. So there is like theoretically, if you knew where they all were, you could like beef yourself up before taking on like any bosses,
Yes.
like quite a bit, right? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of them are just hidden, so you can do that as well. But I'm pretty sure that they come at dictated points and
Oh fuck! I died.
I'm
Sorry to hear that.
It's all right. I'll slay this fire next time. What is it?
Yeah, Alex, you gave this to me. Like, you talk about it.
Yeah.
Why did you give
I mean,
this to
we
me?
just talked about the art. Because one, I was like, this game is fun. So I played this game in 2 sessions. I played one. I like booted it up. I played for like 4 hours or something, and I took a break. And then the next day, I played for like 4 more hours. And like, so this is a game that obviously the art's like fucking incredible. And we already said the combat's really good. But it's just like the overall vibe and like ambiance of the world that I really like. Just like the weird, like we said, there's no dialogue, there's no anything, but there's actually like a very, if you dig into it, there's like a very like, there's a lot of like lore. There's a lot of like stuff going on that like happened before the game started, and then you can kind of get into that. There's like stuff written on the wall. You're like, oh, there's just some shit on the wall. But it actually like is another language, and there's like a way to translate it, and like there's all sorts of stuff on the internet about all this stuff. So I don't want to get too deep in the
That's
weeds
kind of
on
the
it,
way.
but,
That's
like,
the kind of the way it is with Hollow Knight as well, right? There's a lot of like.
yeah, exactly. And I liked Hollow Knight a lot too. Like,
I don't think there's a language to decipher in Hollow
No,
Knight,
no,
is there?
but there's that kind of like.
Yeah, lots of background stuff
yeah.
to dig into.
But yeah, and the music, like just
We can
everything
say
about
Dark
this
Souls
game is
and
good.
get it out of the way real quick, and then move on with our lives.
Wait,
I
what about Dark
I
Souls?
wasn't going to.
We just say it and then move on with.
I
our
was
lives.
just not gonna say
No,
it.
I don't want
Actually,
to.
yeah. I mean, I actually also don't think this game is really like Dark Souls in any truly meaningful way at all. Other than you know, there's a.
I think that style of like integrated storytelling is a thing that it's an idea that was planted into a lot of developers' heads by Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Not that didn't exist before Dark Souls, because it definitely did. I mean, even like Zelda going way back and other things, but
Yeah, but Dark Souls did give it a big boost.
right, especially in terms of making like a melancholic world with a bunch of like sad characters, where a bunch of shit had kind of gone down beforehand, and you're kind of left to pick over the pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without being explicitly told what happened in like a Fallout or something. Like that's
Yeah.
a thing that Dark Souls put into the greater like consciousness of video games.
I will say, as much as I love this game, I have no idea what's going on in it most of the time.
In a bunch of really cool ways, in games like this and Hollow Knight. I think that is the legacy of Dark Souls more than like when people say it's the Dark Souls of blank, they just mean it's kind of a hard version of the
Right.
thing, or it has like the
It's difficult.
corpse run death mechanics that Dark Souls has, which is also not something that Dark Souls
I was gonna
invented,
say,
but
yeah.
for me, like, that's the thing that like that's the legacy of Dark Souls of being Souls. But anyway,
I was gonna say something and now I forgot. Damn it. I got
Why
distracted
did
as
you
my
give
phone
this to
started
me,
ringing.
Alex? You were talking a little bit about that.
Because it's sick.
I mean, sure, but there are
That's
games
it.
that you think are sick that I don't, right?
Hey, it's Anthony. Hey,
hi
bud.
Anthony.
Hey.
This map is like
Yeah, I
not
don't know.
great.
It's just cool, man. This game just kicks ass. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know what
it
else.
does.
Yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say, but it was important. But like, now I don't remember. So whatever. Fuck it. It's just sick. This game is just sick.
Look at those trees and those crystals and
Fuck.
All the environments look really good.
yeah. I have the Disaster Piece soundtrack playing in the background now. It's just like
Yeah, the soundtrack's
That's
so.
a very good soundtrack, but not very hummable.
no, I mean there's like a couple of bangers in there. Well, bangers is definitely not. the
Yeah,
word,
I
but,
wouldn't.
like,
That's not a term I would
Siege
ascribe
of
to
the
this game.
Crown has some like melody to it that is kind of like can stick in your head a little bit.
You died.
That's
But it's
stunning
definitely-
commentary.
it's a-
Glad you're here,
it's a
Anthony.
soundtrack that you can just
Yep.
kind of put on in the background, and
Yeah.
I think also the end is. I mean, you're not there yet, but the end of this game is very cool. I like that whole like sequence a lot.
Yeah, it's
but
really good.
I don't
Really
want to.
big fights are all very good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you guys have talked about already. But I like that you kind of have a sense of what's going on, but it doesn't really.
Yeah, we
spell it
talked
out.
about that, Anthony. Maybe show up on time.
All right, good. Good. Did you talk about the weird hidden language
Yes,
in the game?
show up on time.
I sort of briefly mentioned it. Yeah.
Oh,
What
I'm
about the
sorry.
weird hidden language?
I don't know. I didn't do any of that.
Oh.
Yeah, I read about it because I was like, I
Yeah,
don't know
exactly.
how
I was like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
not
fucking look
putting
that
that
up.
work into.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean that's something that Fez also did.
That's what. Yeah, this game. I was gonna say
but
this
is
game
not
kind of.
the right mindset of. Like Fez, I kind of expect that, and here I'm like, that's totally not the kind of
Use your gun.
brain input
There
I
you
want to.
I actually can't disassociate those two games. Like I think of those two games as being something of a piece, even though they play very differently. And
Is it partially
Yeah.
because of the Disaster Piece
it's
soundtrack?
the soundtrack, but also like the melancholy ambiance and like the fact that they're both gorgeous pixel art games, even though they
Yeah.
use pretty different styles. But
Exactly.
they're both also just about like spending a lot of time in a really laid back kind of sad place, basically.
Mhm.
I think I would hesitate to call this game laid back, but
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
The action is, but when you're not doing the action, it's just wandering around these pretty serene locations for the most part.
I think I already went down there. Didn't I already go down there? Yes.
I want to play this game again. Shit.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
So this
Sky Reynolds says the death scene is a lot like Resident Evil. You died. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I thought we were still quoting Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Dark Souls is the Resident Evil of game over screens.
That's a.
Oh man,
Wow,
that's
I don't really know how to
Sentence
parse
you
that.
said?
Yeah.
only a couple of weeks to go, Joe.
Yeah. hmm
Did you guys talk about how bad the map is in this?
I was just getting there actually. The map is pretty bad
How
in
bad
this
is
All right,
in
go.
this game.
It's really bad.
It's bad on purpose, though. That's like
I
an.
I
It's
don't
like
like
part
that.
of. That's part of the game is that you're supposed to just go and explore and figure it out yourself.
Yeah, it makes me mad, but in the good way.
But then like why bother? Like why give me a
That
map?
seems-
Because in the end, it's actually what you need. Like, I was able to find basically everything in the game just by exploring and looking really carefully and using the map and be like, wait a sec, there's a thing over there. Why haven't I found that? And so, like, it's really infuriating at first, but it actually tells you more or less what you need
Like
to
I
do.
like
Just
the
'cause
I
it's
like the
easy
map
to do.
mechanics in Hollow Knight because it's like okay, you don't get a map, so like exploring is its own reward. But then like once you have explored, then you get a map, and then it's like oh now you can
Yes.
figure out where the hell you're supposed to go. I think that's
Yeah, I'm with
that's
Joe
like
on
more of
this.
a happy medium than just like I don't know. Here's some lines that
I
sort
like
of
that.
vaguely represent a thing, maybe.
There's one or two of them in one of the areas that like they don't match up quite. Well, it's more like the entrance you need to take to go down below is not the one that's near the lines, and so it kind of throws you off the scent. And I
Yeah.
I
Right,
didn't
like
like
that's
that.
what I'm trying to figure out because like pretty clearly like
But that just kind of adds to what this game's whole vibe is, which is that like things aren't as it seems, and like not everything is where it's supposed to be or what's happening. You know what I mean? Like that's the game's whole jam.
Yes, but when it results in me backtracking and being frustrated, that's not.
But when the game, when the whole point of the game is to like walk around and like be in this world and explore it, and then you're like, I had to walk around and explore it. It's like, well, that ain't
the
no
whole point of the
problem.
game was to make you frustrated, Anthony.
Oh well, okay then.
Mission accomplished.
I mean, I'm being negative on a game that
I'm
you know.
gonna write this down
Yeah,
next
yeah.
time Alex says some game didn't do what he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I definitely like much like Hollow Knight, like the map in this game is an intentional choice, sort of meant to force you to explore and not optimize your path through the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's a really and it's a really important choice for this game because, like Mike said, one of the important things is that that you do sort of take your time and sort of stroll through and
Sure, but I guess I just feel like Hollow Knight handled that better Because in Hollow Knight, when I didn't have a map, I was just like, I'm just enjoying like wandering around this world, which I think is really cool and vibrant. And then like, oh, and now I have a map, so like now that I've wandered around enough to find the map, and like there were sections in Hollow Knight where like finding Cornifer was the last thing I did in a section. So I was like wandering on memory for a while, and then I was like, oh, there's Cornifer. I'm gonna get a map now.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
And then it was like,
There are definitely parts of that game that are intentionally designed so that Cornifer is the last thing you find.
So, you know, this is just like you have a map all the time, and obviously, like when you find the other drifter or whoever that person is or thing or whatever that guy is, like then all of a sudden it's like, oh, now I know at least like what my goals are, but it's still not. I don't know. I feel going from nothing to something that's like concretely helpful is better than going from something that's vaguely helpful to something that's still only vaguely helpful. Sort of what I'm driving at.
Duly noted.
So.
Like I said, it's only when it forced me to backtrack like 3 times because the map itself was what was throwing me off. Like when I've gotten, I forget how many of the pieces of the things, like 5 out of 6 or whatever it is, of those pieces, and I'm looking for the last one, and I've gone through the same area 3 times. At that point, a functional map would have been nice.
Yeah, I haven't run into that yet, and hopefully I don't because I'm smarter than you. But you know,
Wow.
I don't know, man. I was watching you play this. You don't dash nearly enough.
We told him that. Dash, dash, dash.
Yeah, man, you got to pretend it's an anime.
Pretend your last name is Rendar.
See, now I tried to dash more and I fell into a hole.
Pretendar, your name is Rendar.
Okay, settle down.
I did it. I opened a door.
I do remember what I was gonna say though.
I'm gonna rend our friendship if you keep doing that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
I did not intend for that to happen.
You know, Alex is gonna unfriendar all of you.
Defendar your position.
all right, I'll wait. How many more we got?
It dependars.
On what?
I don't
You
know.
guys should try and Mendar.
Okay, yeah, I was challenging you, pushing you to see if you could come up with one more, but no.
I know.
Look at these trees. They'd really interested then.
Yes.
All right. Get the fuck out of here. So the story behind this game
Guys,
is that
they ran into somebody's car today. We had to defend
Fendar, Bendar, yeah.
You sure did.
Alright, so you were saying, Alex.
Yeah, so the story behind this game is that the dude, the main guy who made it, was born with like a congenital heart defect, and so like he's been in the hospital like basically like in and out like his whole life, and so basically his idea for this game like came from him being in the hospital all the time. So that's why the game kind of is the way it is, where but that's kind of why the game is the way it is, where it's kind of this weird like melancholic bittersweet thing, but it's also like, you know, this guy who was like going through a lot of shit was just like, dude, if I could like live and make this cool game, like I want to do that. And this is like what he came up with, and it's like super sick in a lot of ways that we've talked about. Yeah, and it's like,
I was in the hospital for 2 weeks once when I was a kid, and I just learned to play Mario 3.
yeah, but what if you
What if I made Mario 3?
Exactly, that's literally what I was gonna say. What if you hang on. It had shit. No, I'm trying to think of a way to get like Dar into like.
Guys, what's your favorite Pokemon? Mine's Dash Gengar.
Wow.
That's too many. That's too many.
You just like combined two. No, that was no.
Anyway, it's Haunter.
Correct answer.
I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's very good.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Man, in the new one, you get to ride him.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
he's very
seems
giant,
wrong
as
on
it turns
like
out.
several levels.
Only on one.
Dirty.
No, that.
You're right on his back.
How
Well,
can
the trainer
you?
knows that they're
How can
consenting
you?
Pokemon, it's not
Okay,
your
so first
business
of all,
to-
is the Pokemon
Oh,
ever
boy.
consenting? Like, can we be honest about what's going on with Pokemon? Second of all, riding a ghost seems
Yeah,
irresponsible.
Can we be honest here? Can we be honest and talk about how everyone's fucking the Pokemon?
No, stop.
you, that was your joke.
You don't have
Like,
any
what are you
evidence of
talking
that.
about?
No, my joke was that the Pokemon are subjugated, and everything. They're not willing to. They don't fight because they want to. They fight because we make them. Because we're the real pocket monsters was us.
Yeah, duh. We're always the monsters. That's how it goes.
It's pockets all the way down.
That sounds very utilitarian.
It's Squirtles all the way down.
Squirtle.
Right. So anyway,
I like that you do the voice from the cartoon.
Yeah.
as opposed to what other
'Cause
voice?
so do I.
As opposed to what?
I don't know. They make sound effects in the game.
It's like
Yeah,
the
I don't know how to
same.
I don't know how to make a fucking OG Game Boy noise with my mouth. Like, that's not.
Sad.
Yeah. That's, oh, I guess if you call that living.
I feel like you were actually going to say something before that huge fucking digression, though, Alex.
Who is
Alex?
You? Oh, Alex.
No, just the whole thing about like
The heart failure
that this
thing,
game,
congenital
the,
heart failure.
the heart failure and all that
Heart.
shit. Yeah, no, that's it.
It's drag.
That was the thing I was trying to say earlier that I'd forgotten about,
Okay.
but yeah, it's like this game came from like a dark and sad place, and it's like a weird bittersweet, also like fucking tight, like super beautiful
Yeah.
game. So it's like, oh, cool. At least something positive came out of all of that. Good grenade throw,
Thank you.
Jackass.
jackass, you motherfucker.
Man, we got things got dark.
Yeah, well, this game is
Joe,
like
Joe, did you do the
fucked
thing
up.
with the chain dashing yet?
Which thing? The thing where I can do it? Yes. I mean, I don't.
Well, there's like the challenge where you have to chain like 100 in a row.
No. What do I get? Just a fucking achievement? Because I'm not gonna do that. If that's.
No, you get like an upgrade, but it's basically like it makes dashing, chain dashing
You get
easier.
to chain
Which
dash 101 times
Yeah.
in a row.
Have you found any of the alternate those like suits you can get, right?
Are they really?
yep,
Mm-hmm.
sure are.
I kind of like the one that I kind of.
They're very hard to get.
I kind of like this one that you start with, though.
Well, yeah, but the other suits do
Oh,
stuff.
okay. So it's not just cosmetic then.
No, they do change the way you look, and admittedly, some of the color combinations are a little weird.
Yeah.
I think I was orange for a good part of the game.
Do you just find them like in the world, or do you?
They're quite hard to find.
But you do just find that you find them. They're not like sold to you.
you find them,
or-
but you got to really look for them.
Okay.
You got to work for it.
Is it worth it? Let me work it.
I feel tired all of a sudden.
Isn't it like 8 o'clock where you are, Alex?
No, it's you guys. I'm exhausted.
Oh.
Oh, is that what it is? Anyway, I'm trying to remember which gun in this game is my favorite.
I only have 2 guns so
Shotgun.
far.
Shotgun, I think. Yeah.
Shotgun.
There's way more. You get more stuff later, but
Yeah, the one that shoots the big ball is also really good.
yeah.
AC/DC?
Yeah.
You know, get it? Because ACDC.
I gotcha. Yep.
Are we done?
Yeah, play this
I think-
game. It's
I hope
like
Mike's
cheap
done.
and sick.
Yeah, so I don't know. I dig this game quite a bit. I'm glad that Alex finally made me play it. And also,
Yeah, I was
Oh, there's-
surprised that you of all people hadn't.
Also, evidently, the Switch version has has like stuff in it that's not in the regular game. Apparently.
really?
Also,
Like
the game
what?
now plays at 50 frames per second, which was not true when I played it.
50 is a weird frame
60
rate.
frames.
Oh, okay.
60, sorry. Actually, no, there is a game that plays at 50. It's Cave Story, but no, this is 60 now. And it was only 30 back when it first came out.
Huh.
Oh.
Fact.
what's in the Switch?
Yeah, what is on
Just
the
like
Switch?
extra cost?
I mean, I don't know, but there's a gun at least. Okay, here we go. Switch is exclusive. Let's see.
A new gun.
I think like a gun, a sword, and then like an area. Let me see. Is this right? Am I reading this right? The tower, Switch exclusive area, and Hyperlight Drifter. Easy access from steady. Okay, it's like a gauntlet of enemies while sending a tower at the top. Blah blah blah. Yeah, like new boss fight, new area. That's cool. New outfit.
Nice.
So, hey, there you go. All right, I guess I'm buying the Switch version. Shit.
That's what it is.
I might do that like right now. Oh, I need to get. I don't have room on my Switch. Shit, because of Smash.
Gotta
Damn
You gotta get, dude. You gotta
Well, Smash is.
you gotta get a
like
big ass
whatchamacallit.
memory card. Is what you gotta do. Amazon's
I
been
have it
putting
in the
them on sale quite a bit lately. Like I got a 128 card for like 30 bucks or something.
I've been meaning to buy one. I just like keep forgetting about it because I don't use my Switch a lot. So, but now it's coming up again. So, and I bought like Smash. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And like I didn't even think about it until that, and that took up like half of it. And I was like, oh, oops. and now I don't play it because I did exactly what I said I was gonna do with that game, which is I played it for like 2 weeks, and then I stopped playing it altogether.
Which game are we talking about?
And that's
Oh,
Smash. This is totally not germane to like.
But if you ever make a friend and then they come over, then you could play it with them.
Yeah, I
You'd
gotta
have to make a
one
friend first. So
The problem is, it's the exact reason before the game came out. I said I wasn't gonna buy it because everybody I know who I'll play it with already is gonna own it, and I'll play it at their place. And so I was like, so I don't need to buy it. But then I just said fuck it and bought it anyway. And then since then, every time I played it since then, it's been somebody else's house, and they owned it.
We played it for like 3 or 4 times online.
Yeah, but
Bullshit.
no, we played it twice, and one time it worked, and the other time it was fucking garbage.
All right, I've played it 3 or 4 times online. But maybe
All right.
Nexus Creed says, "Do people eat Militanks? Would you guys eat a Militank?" That's the cow Pokemon with a
Yeah.
face.
Oh,
Only a Senta tank.
it's a Cowpomon.
And Snarkcast Production says 50 frames per second. Is this a PAL copy?
Ah, it was a mistake.
I get it.
But still, it's pretty funny, especially with the PlayStation.
yeah, with the if it was a PlayStation Classic game, then you know.
Oh boy, what a mess.
But hey, the price has already
Hey,
dropped like
speaking of PlayStation
50%.
things-
So
If we're not talking about Hyperlight Drifter anymore, I'll say that I got a PlayStation.
oh really?
in the mail.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the impetus behind that?
A friend of mine bought one to play Red Dead, and then finished Red Dead, and asked me if I wanted to buy it for $450 with a VR headset that he got off of Craigslist, and I said sure. And now I have a VR headset also that I haven't really had a chance.
So you're gonna play Resident Evil
Did you buy it?
7 in VR?
Oh man,
I want to. I got
Here,
it.
here,
I just
play
messed around with the
Subnautica.
menus. I bought Tetris Effect.
Not on PS4, is it?
I bought Tetris
Yeah,
Effect.
I think it is.
for about
Yeah,
an
it
hour
is.
last night, and it made me feel not sick, but just weird afterwards. So
That
I
it's
was
working
say I
in
heard
VR.
that's the
yeah,
draw.
I played it in
I heard that's the
VR.
lure of playing VRs that makes you feel weird.
Well, like
I didn't have that at all.
It just made me feel weird. I don't know, like sweaty, like not sick, like not upset in my.
Kurt, is that
stomach.
because you always are weird?
Made
But
you
just
feel
weird.
sweaty.
It
I
felt
love
weird. Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
But, I want to play some more and like check out. There's like I forget what it's called, but like the production company that put out a bunch of short like 360 view videos. There's no just recently what became available on PC or PlayStation 4 stuff. So I want to check some of that stuff out. There's
I
a free
think-
demo, and it also came with. He bought the one. He bought the other game that he sent me was what's the bot VR
Astrobot?
Astrobot Rescue Mission.
bot? Yeah. So I'll get a chance to play some of that.
Have you played
Yeah.
Spider-Man yet?
No, I'm probably not gonna play.
Spider-Man's good.
good.
Spider-Man's real good.
That's near the bottom of the queue.
Or Uncharted 4?
I bought Bloodborne for.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play that first. Like that's
Fuck
number
yeah.
one priority. Yeah. And,
Dude, hell yeah.
Bloodborne, and then God of War I think is next, and
So I will say,
I played a little bit of Red Dead last night too. I don't know, man.
I will say that in terms of big marquee PS4 games that came out this year, I enjoyed Spider-Man like an order of magnitude more than God of War.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna like God of War more than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So.
Like I didn't even.
I also think
I can
is
see
more
why you
fun
would say
than
that,
any
but I
of
can't say that.
God of War seems more up my
I just man.
I had no interest in Spider-Man until I saw Kurt playing it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why don't I have this?
It's
When
real
did,
good.
when did you see Kurt
like
play
a
it?
couple of months ago.
Did you come?
When I was back.
When were you back, you asshole?
In September when you were gone.
Right.
Yes, you were gone,
You were contacted about this.
and you were like, "That's great, but I'm not gonna be around."
Yeah. Fine.
He was only here for like 2 days.
What a jerk.
Yeah, Eric and I talked about this when he told me about the PS4 thing and the PSVR thing, but I also got a PSVR before
Did you
Christmas.
get a chance to mess around with? You got the Moss and Astrobot thing.
Yeah, I got the Moss and Astrobot bundle.
Have you played the Until Dawn Carnival Ride game?
I haven't yet. It's on my list to play through.
Actually, I want to get Until Dawn and play through it with my mom and my brother because I think they would be way into that. Because
Nice.
I don't know what that is.
It's a.
Until Dawn is that horror game.
It's
that-
an 80s slasher horror game pastiche
It's
thing.
until it turns
It's
into
really cool.
not an 80s slasher and turns into a different genre, and
Right.
then it turns into a different genre, and then it turns into a different
That's true.
genre.
It's a little cabin in the woodsy. Like it definitely
A little bit, yeah, a
It's
little
obvious
bit.
that they watched Cabin in the Woods and said, "Oh yeah, we can play within the horror thriller genre."
Right, and,
Right.
and mess around and
That's
do
what the
stuff.
conventions
Yeah.
and the way that they did, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna check that out. But yeah, I wanna mess around with the VR thing.
This
some
is
more.
me realizing any VR exclusive thing I've automatically filtered out of my brain.
That's not a VR thing. That's just a thing that came out.
There,
Did you say B.
Oh,
Arthur?
Yes.
yeah,
There is a VR. That company that
Until
made
Dawn is
Until
not
Dawn-
VR. There's an
Yeah.
Until Dawn VR specific thing.
that has
Let me tell
almost
you, I do not filter
nothing
VR
to
things out of my
do
brain.
with Until Dawn, from what I
Right.
can tell.
Right. That's my understanding, yes.
So,
Also, VR has made me realize that I need to get new glasses because I can. It makes it very obvious all the scratches and dings my 7 or 8 year old pair. of
like,
glasses
I
have.
was gonna say like a
Yeah.
new
I've
prescription
been
or
out in
like
the
a.
woods and out in the. No, I don't think that it's not the prescription. I think it's just all the scratches and stuff. But like I don't notice it in my normal day to day. But like these glasses.
You don't have super
I put
bright
these
things
glasses
right in your
through
face.
hell, basically. And even though they're only like 7 or 8 years old, but man, they have 1,000 miles on hiking trails and working outside all the time.
You're not supposed to walk on your face, Eric.
Hey man, what do you
Hey.
know about walking 150?
Yeah.
You hike the way
Not
you
much.
want, and Eric will hike the way he
Yeah.
wants.
That's what they say on the ultra hikes. Hike your own hike, man. If you want to walk on your feet, that's fine. If I want to slide along on my face, then I do that. Don't judge me.
Oh
God
shit!
can
I
judge
was
me.
with you, but I thought you were bouncing on your face. I didn't realize you were sliding on it.
No, that's why I butter my face up before we go.
Oh, I just thought that was your thing. Okay.
Glad we got that sorted
You
out.
heard it here. You heard it here. Eric is a butterface.
Oh, I get
I
it.
have a great body. That's
Something,
yeah, I don't-
something,
I'm-
hold it against me.
I got this is one of the new versions of the PlayStation 4 controllers, and it's even better than the previous older one that I had.
Yeah.
It's very.
You changed the
very nice.
controller?
It's just like some subtle changes. The D-pad's a little bit more responsive. They added a little bit of a light to the touchpad.
Yeah.
Oh.
Instead of just the one on the front, which is kind of nice. The buttons are a little bit bigger, and the analog sticks are even a little bit tighter, I think, than they were on the other one. It feels even more like an Xbox 360 controller. Which is
Nice.
nice in that way. It's not like if you have a PS4 controller, I wouldn't say like you should buy one of these newer.
But if I only have one, and I've been thinking about getting a second one anyway, then like the new one, I guess is. Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm about to call it a stream, but now I'm gonna fight this boss or mini boss or whatever it
Oh,
is.
nice. So, is there anything else for PlayStation 4 that I need to play like in the next year before I probably sell this?
I was gonna put together.
Shit,
Bloodborne.
he already said Bloodborne.
Oh, yeah, that sounds.
No, I know, but he needs to play Bloodborne. You need to
Bloodborne
play
was on sale for $13.99 with the.
I would probably play both the
I
Uncharted
know, and
games.
the DLC's like fucking
I was
amazing.
gonna say, how do you
I
feel
have
about
not,
Uncharted?
but I have never played an Uncharted game.
He
Mostly
said he was
because
gonna
I think I would
Fuck.
like them, but I would like to play.
play Lost Legacy, which might be right.
Yeah, I think you might like, if you've never played one before, you might like Lost Legacy more. It's also shorter, so if you play Lost Legacy and you're like,
Shorter
this
and
is
more
super
focused.
good, then you can play Uncharted 4 after that.
I'll be
Exactly.
honest. Part of the reason I never played one of the PlayStation 3 ones is because I despise the PlayStation 3 controller. And just
Really?
for an
That's
excuse
fair.
Not to. I hate the analog sticks on the PlayStation 3 controller. They feel mushy.
I feel like I'm just not getting this boss's pattern. Like, there is something that I'm missing.
Yeah.
Have you
Oh,
tried
supposed to
getting
get it, like,
good?
immediately.
Have you tried getting it? Have you tried
Ryan
getting the
Reynolds
pattern?
says A little late,
Fuck.
but that was a really interesting story about the
Hey,
game
Joe.
player being in and out of the hospital.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that makes.
Remember you said you were
Yep.
smarter than me? I only died once on this guy.
I don't believe you.
I don't
He said
care.
he was smarter than you, but not better than hyper.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Those are two different things.
Yeah. There's like different types of intelligence.
Ristica
I feel
says,
like
"What's
this
going
is what
on,
it's gonna look
fellas?"
like when I play it.
Nexus
Is this-
Creed says, play Smash TV for the Genesis one day.
Oh boy, that'll be a fun one for you, Eric. Playing.
Snarkcast Production says the SNES version is much better, and I say that as a Genesis person. That's the end. The Super Nintendo version of Smash TV isn't all that great, so that doesn't. That's one of those dual stick
damning with-
shooters that just doesn't work on a D-pad.
It really doesn't.
So, play Smash TV on an arcade cabinet.
There you go.
If you can, because that's a fucking great game.
Word.
So, this is the boss that I got to without the chain dash, and I thought that was pretty rough.
Yeah, I bet this would be hard without the chain dash.
Yeah, so it looks like he attacks twice quickly and then has like a bit of an opening. So
Yeah, just dash by him to set off him swinging and then get out of his way.
Yeah.
So have either Joe or Kurt, have either of you guys played any of Red Dead Redemption 2?
no.
I just played the intro part
Okay.
2 nights ago.
Okay. You played the part where
Christ.
they find the cabin in the snow? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what,
basically.
I played that last night. Cause
Yeah, I got through that and got up to the part where it was like, okay, now you can actually, like, now we're gonna open it up.
It's super weird to me that you can interact with a bunch of stuff in that game, like Witcher style or Half-Life 2 style or whatever, but it doesn't highlight anything, so it's like
Yes.
really hard to tell.
Yeah, you have to be
What you
like
can
standing
pick
right
up and
next
just-
to it, and you'll get a very small tooltip.
Right,
Joe,
but
do
it
you have a
doesn't
shotgun?
You're like,
No.
to, like, highlight it. See
Yes,
what-
it would glow or something. Yeah, it doesn't do that at all.
That might be part of your problem too.
Also, it was super weird to me to play that game and go, wow, this is super gorgeous.
Fuck.
And then every once in a while, a character will animate in a way that looks like it was from Grand Theft Auto 3.
Yep.
Just like, holy shit, this is the same technology that I've been playing for fucking years at this point.
Yeah, you're like, wow, this is really whoa.
Yeah, like, it's just like all the characters still have that weird, like, hunched over thing, and their faces are still weirdly static in a way that looks like a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
super
they've all been
bizarre.
Botoxed because that's what
Yeah.
you did in the old West.
Yeah, that's exactly what they look like. It's
Yeah.
super, super bizarre.
Fuck.
It's one of those legacy tech things that it happens in all the Bethesda games are like that too, where all the characters still have the weird clay face appearance
Mhm.
that guys in Morrowind had in 2000 fucking
Yeah.
and they've never.
Yeah, the first time I played Oblivion, I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
What's wrong with these
Remember
people's
the, like,
faces?
the first Red Dead 2 trailer came out, and everyone was talking about how gorgeous it looked, and I watched it, and I was like, this still looks like a Rockstar
It
game.
still looks like Nico Bellic is like hunched
Yeah.
over with it. It's crazy how much that like there's just like these like it's almost ephemeral in a way, the way that they like poke their heads out once in a while, but it's just
It also-
so weird and it pushes me right into the fucking uncanny valley.
I think Bethesda's the best comparison, but anything that's on the what is the engine that Half-Life is in?
Build
Source
source.
engine.
Source.
Anything that's a Source engine game also immediately like
Yeah,
puts my brain in a different place.
yeah. Although that's old enough that you don't really see it very often anymore, but yes, definitely. Also, it seems like every Source Engine game uses the same shotgun noise.
Also true.
But yeah, it's actually like in the Source, it's almost like an animation style because of
Right.
the Havoc physics. It's
Right.
more like a Havoc physics thing for me like a source engine graphical style, but definitely, I definitely know what you're talking about.
God damn it.
Hey
Also,
Joe, you
all
have
video
a gun
games-
too, right?
All video
Yeah.
games should have because they're super fucked up and lead to all the best things.
All
Yeah,
video games
definitely.
should have what?
Havoc physics.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I want
sure.
weird ragdoll corpses and I want all this shit. It's
I
Kurt and I've
love
been-
punting dead bodies all over the place.
Yeah, I was gonna say Kurt and I've been playing it, but I'll save it for when you are.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But that game has some real good, especially when you're playing multiplayer and there's like some.
And you're
weird
not the
lag
host.
And everything is just all the time. Sky Reynolds says SNES controls are much better for Smash.
Arcade controls are
Yeah.
Yeah.
really the only
Motherfucker.
like.
Ideal.
I mean, I'll play some Smash TV. I like Smash TV. It's a great game.
It is a great game.
Nexus Creed says, "Have any of you tried your hand at game design or thought of it?"
Nope.
I think about it all. the
Not
time.
really.
I do not have the background in programming to make that a kind of reality. Although I have definitely thought about like messing around with Unity or Maker, some of the other tool sets that kind of. Actually, that's not entirely true. One time I tried. I spent the better part of a year in like 2005 trying to make a Neverwinter Nights mod based on a Ronnie James Dio song.
Is it Rainbow in the Dark?
No, it's a rainbow song. It's there's like that dual set of songs at the end of Rainbows Rising,
Uh-huh.
which I can't think of the titles now, but they're about like the first part is about this wizard that's building a tower, and the wizard is flying around the tower and trying to use the tower to like boost himself into outer space. And then at the end of that song, the wizard falls and dies. And then like the second song is about all the slaves and people that were building the tower, trying to figure out how to like live and get themselves back into their old lives after the wizard is dead. And I tried to make a Neverwinter Nights mod based on those two songs.
Stargazer and The Light in the Black.
Yes, those are the two songs. Great songs.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
And you never.
I mean, that
Never
stuff still
finished it,
exists
huh?
on a hard drive someplace, but it was not. It never got into like a fully playable state because there was so many weird hacks and things that you could do with Neverwinter Nights that I just kept going further and further down those rabbit holes and never actually made
Yeah.
any like real
Right.
progress or making the thing work out. But I believe that your character was one of the slaves, and it was like meant to be.
And then someone took that and turned it into shit. Now I can't remember the name again. Planescape Torment. I got
Yeah,
halfway through that
2000.
joke and totally dropped it. Yeah.
In 2005,
That's part of the
someone
joke, too.
created
Yeah.
the. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, I also sent in a design doc for a wrestling video game to Nintendo in like 1987.
Do you still have it?
Nice.
And back a very nice letter about. I don't know if my mom still has that somewhere in our garage attic or not. I should try and dig that up.
Did you say garage attic?
Yes.
Do you have a? Do you have
Doesn't
a garage
Fonzie
house?
live up
There's
there?
a flying car. Our garage just has an attic. you know,
Okay.
Where we keep all.
Feels like there should be a word for that.
I don't. Is there a word for that?
I don't know. I'm just saying it feels like there should be.
Probably in German.
You know, I was about to say in German. I think I haven't done anything, but like it's always something that I've thought about. Where it would be cool to work with somebody. Like I could do programming and that kind of stuff, but I have like no art skills and no, some of that kind of stuff. And I would prefer collaborating with someone and doing that kind of stuff, but God, that takes a shitload of time too.
It's a lot. That's the problem is that it's a lot. Let me tell you, as someone that spent
It's a lot
about
of
a year and a
tedious work.
half trying to hack together a thing in a Neverwinter Nights tool set, it takes a lot of fucking work to make a video game.
It does.
People do,
What? This is the first time hearing about it.
People do not appreciate how much work it takes.
What
to
the
make
fuck?
video games.
Okay.
But and what I also tried.
It's
I mean, I
that
still have
giant
that-
glowy ball killed
Every
you.
once in a
That
while,
was what the fuck.
remember that time we did that Action Cast draft fantasy draft thing where we created our own
Yeah.
movies. I tried to make
Yeah.
a card game out of that at one point, and I still have that floating around. And every once in a while, I pull it out and like tweak it and try and figure out how to make it work. But it was like a deck building game that where the cards were all like famous actors that had like different scores for like that would synergize with other actors and directors and styles of movie making, and then you would try and like build a deck to create a film out of that. But I never found a way.
It's
to
like
make it
Sushi
work.
Go, but instead of like temaki and
I
like
don't
wasabi, it's like
Yeah.
fucking like Christian
Yes.
Slater and like
Right.
Steven Spielberg.
Yes.
And Bruce,
Here,
yeah, like,
Christian
like,
Slater
yeah,
is
like,
obviously the wasabi.
Yeah.
like the sort of movie you would need to create with a Bruce Campbell is totally different than the sort of movie you'd need to create with an Arnold Schwarzenegger, but the ideal would be to make a game that was balanced in such a way that either of those victory conditions would be viable.
So I actually kickstarted and I'm waiting to get my copy of like a deck building game like that with wrestling, where like you get a bunch of wrestlers and the goal is to put on the best show you can and like have a better wrestling show than all the other players.
That was I ate an entire quart of bittersweet symphony ice cream, which is like coffee flavored ice cream and has a ton of caffeine in it, and stayed up all night working on that. I think about it when I'm in the shower and stuff sometimes.
Man, I'm getting insights here.
What just happened?
God damn it!
I'm so confused.
The Action Cast is going to have a second life as a very successful card game. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Good to know.
And we have Ben and Jerry to thank for that.
I think that's a Perry's ice cream flavor, actually.
What did you just call me?
Perry.
Perry Rendar.
Oh my God. Private eye.
Hey, you know what? Like when you're
It's really hard for me to tell what this character's gendar is.
when you're doing stuff in a video game and you're making it and it's like there's like textures, you need to like render them.
I mean, you
That's
could
just the
outsource
word,
that
that's
to
what-
a vendor.
Christ.
There you go. Kurt understands.
There was a book and then it was a movie. It was Endar's game.
What?
I tried to make these as lazy as possible, and I think I'm succeeding.
you're
I'm not,
Yeah, you
I'm not
fucking nailed
sure.
it, dude.
Yeah.
And yet it doesn't feel like we're winning here.
No matter who wins, we lose, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
Alright, card game where you have a bunch of cards that are all really horrible puns.
I think they've already got a few of those.
I say I can't believe someone hasn't done that already.
It's kind of a trend, Dar.
What?
Nope.
No?
You just said
And then
trend
put
and
R at
put
the
R
end.
at the
Yeah,
end.
that
Is that more or less lazy than what you were doing?
that doesn't even qualify, dude.
I mean, it's neither because it doesn't count.
Hey,
Mine was
guys,
lazy. Yours is just like it doesn't work.
You guys should all join my new social media network, Trendar.
no.
It's just trend with an R at the end of it. I'm a genius.
Oh, I like it.
$8.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's for trendy pirates. Wait, we're not still on
Yes,
the
we
air,
are.
Yeah.
Because he was like, "Oh, I met a mini boss. We should let people see this."
Can you pass me a drink? There's some in the mini bar, and it's a. Fuck! Help me, guys! Help me!
I don't know what I'm trying to help you do.
Yeah.
It's like bar and
Bar?
yeah, the swim up.
It's in the end bar.
Okay. Fuck! God damn it!
We're almost there.
We're almost there. We gotta get more money. We gotta
Hey,
kickstart this.
hey,
we
we
need
need
some
more
more
Money.
money.
Let's go to a
Hey,
cash
guys.
Lendar.
Hey, what's your favorite Futurama character? Mine is.
Yeah. Fuck
Fry.
you, Santa Claus.
Leela.
Fry. Dark.
I'm glad that lost its
You need to
momentum
start
right
switching
as
out.
I finished fighting this boss. I got something from
I'm
that.
very proud of you for beating that boss.
I got a
Joe.
gun.
Yay. Shoot it.
Guns. I think the guns are randomized, aren't they?
This one fires a...
Are they?
No, this is the one that he was using on me, it looks like, so...
Oh.
Yeah, that's like the Magnum equivalent,
Yeah.
I think. Easy.
Snarkcast Production said, finally, finish him.
Oh yeah, I like that one. That one was good. I think I still mostly use the shotgun though, but it's good.
The shotgun was good for the bosses.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
been a
that's the other
while.
one I was talking about. Yeah, that was
The
my
big
number.
ball.
Yeah, the Mick ball.
Did you say the Mick Ball?
I said
What I think he
big
said.
ball,
Oh, I
but
thought he said Mick
Anthony,
ball.
Anthony said the
Yeah.
Mick ball.
Well, I heard you say Mick ball, so
Okay.
that's fine.
Well...
The Mick ball.
Is that an Irish ball?
No, it's a ball you order from McDonald's.
Yeah, right.
That would be old ball, I guess would be the Irish one. LOL, lazy. Alright, end the stream, please. Hurry up.
Yes, please. God.
Okay, well, that was Hyperlight Drifter and a bunch of really awful puns.
Hypar. Hypedar, Lightdar, Driftdar.
Oh boy. Oh fuck.
We're doomed.
Well, if there was any doubt that we were not gonna go to hell, like
There was
that-
no doubt. But
clearly-
everybody, thanks for watching.
It's been dispelled
Alex,
our-
thanks for giving me Hyperlight Drifter. And
Just spell.
good night, everybody.